Good morning everybody, it's Chris here at Blue Rhino Safaris. Here we have a lovely bull elephant feeding on a tree next to the road. You can see his left tusk is broken. You can see the rounded forehead, so it's an old bull just based on what he looks like. So just stay calm, just relax. You can see he's feeding, so there's no problem. Stay calm, stay calm. Phew, that was a close one. So let's have a look at this lovely animal that we have just seen doing his antics on the wet road. This of course is Loxodonto africana. Loxodonto refers to angled tooth, and if you manage to get the elephant to say ah, then you could see what it refers to. Inside the mouth there's a series of diamond-shaped teeth, all angled, and Loxo means angle, Donto tooth or teeth, and Africana refers to the African elephant. The African elephant has a different tooth shape than the Asian elephant. So Loxodonto africana talks about the molars inside the elephant's mouth and the weird shape that they have. What's interesting about the African elephant is that their teeth, or all of elephant for that matter, their teeth moves forward from the back. As they start wearing down their teeth on the front, they will be replaced by new teeth at the back, but it's not an unlimited supply. They run out of teeth somewhere in their life, and most old elephants will basically die of hunger eventually because their teeth would not be able to mold the grass that they need to feed. So if you ever go into the Moremi with me and we find the elephants in the water feeding on the papyrus grasses and things in the delta, those elephants are feeding on soft materials. They're trying to preserve their teeth. If they feed on sticks and they have to get the bark off the stick, which is very nutritious for them, then they are working very hard and they are grinding their teeth down to get the bark off. Grasses are slightly better, and the water grasses are even better than that. So an elephant needs to think about its survival, and it thinks about its survival through the preservation of teeth in its mouth. So there's just a couple of things that I wanted to chat to you about. To do a video on elephants in 10 minutes is impossible. There's so many aspects to elephants that I've actually developed a tour that focuses on elephants, where we can share the information on elephants. I call it the Grootvoete Tour. It does basically the elephant hotspots, which is Hwange, Chobe, the Moremi, and I take a few days to go through all the aspects of elephants. But just a few things that you might find interesting. Firstly, how to tell the difference between the males and females. The male has a rounded forehead and the female has a more square forehead, and in this picture you can see the difference between the two. So if you see them on a distance, then that's the one way to tell them apart. But the second thing, and which is more important, is how they function. Elephants are mammals. Mammals, the name mammal refers to mammary glands, which means that elephants give milk and their babies drink from them, and that means there's a very strong bond between female and baby, female and youngster, like with all mammals. This goes for dogs, for cattle, for people. The mother and the child has a very, very strong bond because of this whole feeding connection, and we mustn't lose sight of that when we look at elephants. So if we come across a herd that has females in it and youngsters in it, it's called a breeding herd. And the video that we're going to have a look at now is a breeding herd, which means the mothers will be protecting the youngsters, and it is primary for them, the safety of the young. So you have to always look at these things and decide, what am I seeing and how are they going to react to what I'm doing. Right, so this is a video that I found on YouTube on the internet, and I thought, let me just go through this video with you and show a few interesting things about the video. As a tour guide, I'm often in the situation where we're driving through the bush, I bump into a group of elephants, and I need to make a decision. I've got 4, 5, 6 vehicles behind me, and I need to know what I need to do at that point in time. So first of all, we don't see the start of the video, so we don't know who was in place first. And it makes a big difference when it comes to dealing with wild animals. If an animal is in a position and you are arriving on the scene, it means that you are intruding on their space, and they might now look at defending their space. If you are in place and the animal walks up to you, then he is intruding in your space. So he understands that he is coming up to you and you own the space for now. So it makes a difference in the start of it. But that being said, all animals are wild and unpredictable, and you can never know for sure how they are going to react. Animal is going to react in 2 different ways. It's either going to move on, or it's going to attack you. And I always say to people, you have to think about the fact that if an animal gets injured, and I said this in my broken leg video, the femur video the other day, if an animal gets injured, the chance of them dying is very big. So there are very, very few animals that will attack you without a real need to defend themselves. Their first choice would always be to kick up a big storm to get you away, and then claim the area for themselves. So let's look at the video and see what happens in this case. You can see there's already a little bit of interaction between the safari vehicle and the animals. So the first thing that this guide would have had to look at is the environment. Now, if you look behind the animals, you'll see that it's fairly open. They are not cornered as such. But what you don't know is whether there are maybe some predators in the bush that they are aware of. These elephants might just be a little bit worried about what's behind them. You're sitting in your vehicle and you just don't know this. Secondly, you could have a sick animal in the group. A sick animal is distressed, and once it's distressed, it can just act very strangely. So looking at this is a breeding herd. You see all the youngsters around, you see the females around. There would be 1 or 2 young bulls in here as well. And they basically are a family, and they need to protect the youngsters. So let's have a look at their behavior itself. You see their ears are flapping around. That is not a big thing. Ears flapping is generally to listen, to pay attention, to give you the look at this one on the left. You can see she's very attentional to what is actually happening here. And this is just part of them being very cautious. So those ears are just them paying really attention to what you are doing, focused on what you're doing. The rest of the herd, you can see they are busy moving off to the right, which is a good sign. So this tour guide, although he would be very anxious, would be comforted by the fact that they are busy moving away. Let's go further and see what happens. So it looks alright. This one turns and comes back. Notice the dust that she kicks up in your direction. That dust is there to basically throw you with the stone, throw you with the dust, and tell you, back off. You are not needed in this situation. The ears open outwards are telling you, we are bigger than you. You need to back off. So what do you do in a situation like this? Exactly what this tour guide is doing. He's not moving. The times that I've been in these situations, my right foot on the brake pedal becomes painfully sore, because if you give an inch in this situation, the elephants will charge. So what you don't want to do is give them any ground. You just want to stand your ground and basically in a calm way just make them more comfortable. Now you can see the head shaking, the attention at you, but look at the feet of the elephant. You'll see that the one here in the center is busy scratching in the ground. That's when they start feeding, looking for a bit of dust. So even though it look like they are uncomfortable, they are, but there's nothing serious going to happen here at this point in time. You see the youngsters out there, the babies are there, and this female will just tell you that you're not really needed here. But as I say, at this point, if you start moving backwards, you're going to find yourself in a big charge. So the females don't want to attack you. They don't want to hurt you because they might get hurt and then their babies are going to be exposed. So in this case, they are just trying to protect everybody in the group and basically keep everybody safe. So if you go through the rest of this video, you'll see that the guide is constantly talking to the elephants, which does help. If you talk to them, they can hear you. And I've said a million times to groups on trip, animals are very clever. They know who we are. They know that there's a person behind the steering wheel of this vehicle. We do not form part of the vehicle, and they are stupid enough to not recognize that there's people in the vehicle. They know there are people in the vehicle. That head shake is another sign of you're busy irritating me, but there's no real charge happening. They feel, or they look like they are rather comfortable. They are just doing the normal get out of our face stuff. So as I said, I don't think animals are generally stupid enough not to understand that it's people behind the steering wheel. So they know we are people. They know what we are. We are fellow dwellers on Earth. And they acknowledge us as that. So in this position, they are now comfortable, and nothing is going to happen from here. Everything calm, everything relaxed, and everybody goes home in one piece. So let's have a look at another video that was shot in the Kruger Park. In this case, a lonely old bull, and these guys generally are unpredictable. So they normally would keep their distance, but they like to keep themselves busy. And this is the danger that you have with the older bulls, is they get a little bit bored in life. And if they get a bit bored, they get up to a bit of mischief. Normally the younger males are the ones that does that. But in this case, it's an older animal. And these people got a real fright and they decided to get out of the way. But they kept filming. And ultimately, this is what's happening. Now that bull, having gone in one direction and then turning around, coming back and showing his irritation to the vehicle, the guy in the blue car should have known that this is a bad place to be. And just because this elephant clearly is telling him, I don't want you here. Not because he's protecting anybody, but because he doesn't like you. And that's a very big difference. If he doesn't like you, then he's probably just going to hurt you. And ultimately, this is the end result of this. So what I'm saying is that when we go into the bush, then we would like to see elephants in their natural setting and see how they do different things. Look at that little baby trying to cross this bit of mud. The elephant is very sensitive on sliding. They will go into mud very carefully because if they slip and fall, they become prey to any predators that's around. So they are always very careful with their footing. But what I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't be scared. Don't be scared of elephants. They are large creatures that do not have a lot of predators out there, and they ultimately are just giants with big hearts. They are very, very aware of what's around them, and to watch them is extremely interesting. You can see this mother is trying to teach the baby to cross the stream. She can walk around if she wants to, but she's busy teaching him what to do. And that includes her stretching across the water and ultimately nudging him until he gets through. She knows this is not a big stream, but I've seen this in Botswana myself when animals in the delta have to cross larger streams. The youngsters like this cannot hold up the herd. They have to move, and the mother will nudge him, and she will eventually get him through the river. You can see her trying to do that. So let's go out there and enjoy the elephants. They are really intelligent animals. They are friendly, and just keep your distance and have respect for them, and if you feel uncomfortable, stay a little bit further back from them. Otherwise, great animals, let's be sure to protect them where we can. Have a great day. I won't chat to you on the weekend. I'm going to take a break, and we'll chat to you again next week. Cheers.